Welcome back, drawing buddies. This week we're gonna draw Ghost Rider from pencils to inks to colors. If that sounds like a good way to spend 20 minutes or so, let's draw. Ghost Rider's first appearance was in Marvel's Spotlight number 5, I believe, and that was in 1972, and that's the Johnny Blaze version of Ghost Rider. I am not all that familiar with Ghost Rider, any of them really. When I was younger, Danny Ketch was the Ghost Rider, so that's the one that I knew more about, but I haven't read any of that stuff since it came out. And my memory of it is zilch. So we are going to go with Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, and I tortured myself and I watched the 2 Nicolas Cage movies. Now ask me how much I remember about those movies that I literally watched in the past 3 days. And that's a little bit of not so much because they're not very good movies. The first one is cool and campy and just plays more like a standard superhero movie. And it's kind of like one of those so bad it's good kind of things. The second one is just bad. Spirit of Vengeance. It tries to be super serious about what it's going through and ignores a lot of stuff from the first movie too, which I thought was kind of weird. But Nicolas Cage is sort of playing it like Nicolas Cage in the first movie, so you got this super serious tone in this movie, and then you got Nicolas Cage hamming it up like it's his job, and it just makes for a bad movie. I actually watched that one earlier today, and I'm like, oof. This is rough. I actually didn't draw or do anything productive while watching it because it was just so not good. I figured I should pay attention to it. So the first Ghost Rider movie, the origin's pretty similar to the comic, except for, we'll get into that in a second. So Johnny Blaze, he's a circus guy. He rides motorcycles with his dad in the circus. They do stunt shows, and they're kind of famous for it, and they do some gnarly stuff. And it turns out that Johnny's dad has the big C, and he ain't gonna be around much longer. And Johnny's like all depressed and stuff, and one night, the Devil shows up and says, "Hey man, I could help your dad. All you gotta do is sign on the dotted line." And Johnny's like, "You could save him?" He's like, "Yeah, it's not a problem. I'll make sure the big C is nowhere to be found in Mr. Blaze." So Johnny's like, "Cool, do it." So he does. And Johnny's father is cured of the big C. No more big C. But then that night at the stunt show, everything goes wrong and Johnny's dad doesn't survive the stunt. He crashes, and that's the end of that. Johnny, realizing what he's done, says, I just gotta go. He gets on his bike, he runs away because he's afraid of what might happen to other people around him and other people he cares for, because he was about to run away with his girlfriend, and they were going to start their own little lives together because her father didn't want her with Johnny, and Johnny was kind of attached to his father, so they figured the best way to deal with this was just to run. So he's like, "Yeah, I can't get her into this stuff because, I kind of sold my soul to the devil, and that's not good." So he runs off and he starts his life as a stunt performer, pretty much doing what he's doing before, but he goes the Evel Knievel route, and he goes full on in. Except, so he's like modern day Evel Knievel. And it starts out with him jumping, how was he jumping? I don't know, some buses or something. And he crashes and falls up against the wall, because he also sort of has a death wish, because he doesn't know if he's talented enough to keep himself alive and make these stunts cool, or if it's the devil's work because he sold his soul to the devil and the devil's going to call on him someday to do some stuff. So enter the villain of the movie, which is not the devil. It is Blackheart. In the comics, he is the son of Mephisto. He's this gnarly black soot and ash looking type character, and he's at odds with his father. In the movie, he's just a pale looking dude who says he's evil and does some bad things, but he's not very intimidating looking. He's like this skinny little dude who has no he just doesn't look threatening at all. It's like, oh, okay, so it's a little goth kid who is the bad guy of this movie. Yay! So he's causing all kinds of trouble for the Devil, and the Devil wants that problem solved, but I guess he doesn't do that stuff directly. So his favorite creation to handle these problems is the Ghost Rider. Oh, the pencils are done. It is now time to ink Ghost Rider. So he comes to Johnny. He's like, all right, man, well, we made that deal, so I'm going to make you my Ghost Rider. And if you could take care of this Mephisto problem, I will set you free, and you will not be the Ghost Rider anymore. You'll be able to live your life with the girlfriend who you just recently reunited with, which I haven't talked about yet, and life will be good. So Johnny's like, all right, bet, because I want to be with the girl I left years ago because I love her, and I want that life. Because earlier in the movie, which I totally skipped over, she happens to be a reporter, and she shows up and interviews Mr. Johnny Blaze. And he invites her out to dinner, and she accepts after a little car chase on the highway where he's on his motorcycle after the stunt. And it's kind of fun. So after that, that's when the Devil shows up and says, hey, you got to be Ghost Rider. So he turns into Ghost Rider, goes around, he tries to stop Mephisto. Mephisto wins because Ghost Rider's big weapon is this thing called a penance stare, where he takes the criminals and he looks them in the eyes, and all the bad things you've ever done in your life are just relived times 10, and it really messes you up and cuts you into a shell of yourself, and it pretty much puts you out of commission. Except when he tried that with Blackheart, it didn't work because Blackheart don't have a soul to torture. So Blackheart wins, and Johnny Blaze is like, oh man, I finally had my happiness, and this happens. I guess it's not a sign. So the girlfriend shows up and gives him, I knew this was a bad idea trusting you, but I did it anyway, and you let me down, and screw you, Johnny Blaze, I'm out of here. So she takes off. But, of course, Blackheart was watching Johnny Blaze because he knew he was Ghost Rider, because I think they found his wallet or something, I don't remember. And so he decides he is going to use her against the Rider so he could take care of him. Then his father will be easy pickings and he could take over hell or whatever. I don't remember. And I'd also like to say the effects on Ghost Rider in this movie are not good. They look bad. They're better in the Spirit of Vengeance, but they're still not good. But yeah, it just looks like a cheap video game skull with some flame on it. And yeah, so just very forgettable. So they kidnapped the girl, and Johnny's like, I gotta save my girl. So he's trying to figure out how to control the Ghost Rider thing so he doesn't just have to be a mindless slave to the power. And, I really don't remember much of what else happens except Mephisto had some bad guys and he takes them out. I forgot what comic characters they were. Not Mephisto, what's his name? Blackheart. So he takes them out with relative ease. One's a water one. They're all elementals. One's water, one's air, and I think there was another one for earth or something. And he takes them out with relative ease, and they're all looking for this scroll that has a contract for 1,000 souls. That's supposed to be super powerful. Like the previous Ghost Rider said, nah, the Devil can't have this. I'm going to hide it. And that is Sam, what is his name? Pause. It was Sam Elliott. I love Sam Elliott. He was in Tombstone. He was in the original Roadhouse. He just like that cool, gruff Western kind of guy. That's him. And he's awesome in it all the time. And so he's pretty much guarding that thing in a cemetery. And Johnny Blaze is like, listen, I need it to save my girl. You got to trust me. And he's like, all right, man, I'll trust you. And so he gives it to him, and he transforms one last time. He was the Ghost Rider before Johnny Blaze from Horse and Carriage days, so his horse lights on fire and stuff, and he looked badass, even though it's still kind of crappy effects. And then they go riding off to where Blackheart is to stop him, and then Sam Elliott's like, oh, that was my last ride, man. I took you as far as I could. And Johnny's like, I appreciate it. I will take care of this. So he goes down there and he fights with Blackheart. And it's a really underwhelming fight. They throw each other around a little, and the Then Ghost Rider just kind of walks up, pushes him against the wall, and now Blackheart has the thousands of souls from that scroll inside of him, so he tries the penance stare again, and this time it works, and Blackheart screams and goes back to hell, and then the devil comes, and he's like, hey, Johnny Blaze, you did good, so I'm going to take that curse back. I'll find another sucker to be my spirit of vengeance. And he's like, no, man, I'm going to own this curse. This is going to be mine, and I'm going to make you regret the day you ever made me the Ghost Rider. And the devil's like, damn you, Johnny Blaze, I will get you someday. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of that Ghost Rider movie. It's pretty bad. This drawing, I thought it would be a longer video because, you know, it's Ghost Rider. He's got the flaming skull, and I had to figure all that out. And the leather jacket and the little details and the inking. But, you know, it's really just standing around looking cool pose. I didn't go with him riding the motorcycle or anything. Which, if this video does do good enough, though, I will do the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. And I will draw his motorcycle because it's that cool, blocky 90s aesthetic. And I know a little bit more about him, even though we're not going to talk about him because we're on Johnny Blaze. And he was one of the new Fantastic Four. Alright, we're going to talk about Danny Ketch. When I was a kid, well, now, still, my favorite artist was Arthur Adams. You hear me talk about him in a lot of these videos. And they did a run of the Fantastic Four. It was 3 issues where the new Fantastic Four comes into play. And what happens is Skrull decides to imitate Sue Storm, and she takes out the Fantastic Four, and she calls up, a distress call that this happened because she needs help fighting whatever the bad thing was. I don't remember. And the heroes that show up are the Grey Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, because they were the most popular characters back then. And if you want a shameless cash grab and you want to increase sales on a book that's not selling well, because the Fantastic Four was not selling well back in the 90s, you put the best characters you got in there. In fact, one of the covers even just has a circle on it, and it says most shameless cameo appearance ever, and it's just the Punisher's chest in the circle, and it's the only appearance he makes in the book. It's pretty funny. And so they all show up to help, and they get to the Baxter building. And Hulk's like, why they call me here? I'm going to rip them apart because it's a smart Grey Hulk. Oh, the inking's done. It is time to color the Ghost Rider. And so Ghost Rider goes... No, wait. The Hulk jumps up to the top floor of the Baxter building because he's mad. Spider-Man swings up. Ghost Rider drives up the side of the building. And Wolverine's just looking at him. He's like, frickin' show-offs. And he just gets in and takes the elevator. It's good stuff. And I don't remember much more what happened to that. But I do have all the issues, including the second printings with the gold covers. Because back in the 90s when they did multiple printings, they either used the gold background, ink background, or silver ink background. Like the first appearance of Carnage, Amazing Spider-Man 361. It's just a white background with some black splatter. But the second printing is silver. And that's how you can tell the difference. And there is a cool issue of the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. I think it's issue 15. I'm not going to look it up, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And it's just a black cover with a skull head by Mark Texeira. And it was glow in the dark, and that was like the coolest thing back then. But getting back to this drawing, I was worried about the flames and the skull head because I'm like, oh, how the hell am I going to make that? But it was easy because I already did it in the Tanjiro drawing, and I kind of remembered how I did it. So I just did another version of that. One thing I didn't show in this video, though, is after I had them colored, it was still looking kind of flat. So I went back and I did something I haven't done in a while in the drawings because I've been liking the poster layouts and I haven't felt the need to add texture to them. But this one, I'm like, yeah, Ghost Rider needs to look dingy and dirty and like, he was on an old newspaper. So I threw a yellow newspaper over him at the end, and it looks pretty darn cool. And it gave it that extra push and glued it all together the way I wanted it. But yeah, I mean, the coloring even goes quick on him, which I thought was going to take longer because, in my mind, little pieces means more time, but they're all just 2 colors. So, and then I did the highlights and stuff. But yeah, drawing Ghost Rider was a heck of a lot of fun. I just wish I knew more about the Rider. I was thinking I was going to do more of a black highlight of it on the front of his face, and I didn't go with it, and I'm happy with the way he looks. But then I was watching the second Ghost Rider movie, The Spirit of Vengeance, which absolutely awful. I would not recommend anybody watch that movie. But they had the skull was almost black in most cases because the flames kind of darken the front of the face. I'm like, oh man, I probably should have went with that idea. That might look cool. So who knows? I might just sit around one day when I got some time and do an alternate version of this where I just shade his head a little differently. Because I also think I'm gonna do that with the Rocketeer drawing. I want to add more blacks to him because I was trying not to do that on him because it's the Rocketeer. I figure he wouldn't have that look to him. And the more I look at that drawing, the more I think it's missing something, and I think it's missing some shading. So if you see me at a con and you want a print of the Rocketeer, it's gonna look a little different. I'm gonna add some shading to it. But yeah, with the Ghost Rider, I really just did 2 levels of shading. You know, I did the base color and the dark. And then I went around it with, I forgot what brush I used. I think it's the Risograph brushes that I got for the Silver Surfer Galactus drawing. And I just kind of went over that with some orange and some yellow. So you got the glowing from his fiery head all over his body. Because if you don't put that on there, then it just looks like you pasted a flaming head onto a regular body. In the background, again, simple. We didn't need anything fancy, just some splattered ink and some red and some black. And it's like, damn, that looks good. So I'm really happy with the Ghost Rider, and I'm gonna make a print of him on my new printer here, the 13 by 19 inch one. Probably tomorrow, because when I'm done with this voiceover, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna do the talking gorilla and all the little things I need to finish the actual video tomorrow and upload it early because I'm going to a concert in New York City on Friday, so I won't be able to do much there. In fact, the shorts on Friday might not even be Ghost Rider. They might be Ladybug still, because I'm going to be on a train all day and walk around New York City. I'm not going to have time to do shorts because I can't schedule shorts in a video that hasn't uploaded yet. And it won't upload till 4 o'clock, which means I won't be able to do shorts for Ghost Rider. So I might be kneecapping the Ghost Rider video before it even starts, but I hope it doesn't end up working out that way. Next video is either going to finally be that engine video I keep saying it's going to be, or tomorrow while I'm sitting down and watching my programs, I am probably going to draw Venom. So it'll either be Venom or it'll be Engine. I should probably do Engine just to get him over with, but I want to do Venom because I think that's a video people actually watch, and it might sort of take away this curse I've been having for the past 4 videos of very low viewership on everything, including the shorts. So we'll see what happens. And plus, I really have been wanting to draw a gnarly regular Venom for a while. If you've watched some of the previous videos, I've talked about it. So it's not like I'm just doing it for a grab of views. I'm doing it because I actually want to do it. And that one will not be for the Bugger's room. I don't think hanging up a scary looking Venom in her bedroom would be a good idea. But I'll probably do it similar to the other Spider poster, so it's part of the set. Because, you know, why change that? Although I've been wanting to draw Spider-Man on a perch, you know. There's ones where he's like on top of a spire or a flagpole looking thing. Except the Spider-Man that I'm going to draw next is going to be more Spider-Verse Spider-Man, but the Peter Parker one. So maybe I'll do that with Venom. Who knows? We will find out tomorrow when I start sketching things and go from there. But I am excited to get a Venom done. And here I'm doing the thing where I put the dots around him to separate him from his background. And I went with an orange here, plus it kind of helped with the fiery glow thing and brought the whole Ghost Rider thing together, so I kind of like that. I actually just liked him when he was yellow right there. I should probably have stuck with that. I also carved a couple, little scribbles in his eyes to make it look like his eyes are flamey. And that's it. We're done with Ghost Rider. So thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Hope to see you next week for Venom. Go out and draw something, and I will see you next week.